being very obedient by coming on live. And I said I'm going to try to do it a little bit every day. Well, I realized in being obedient, I made some mistakes. So I'm here to create. I'm here to correct my mistakes. Now I'm still tired, but forgive me now. I should have took some notes, and I did things by memory, and that's sometimes a recipe for disaster. But anyway, I had talked about how I was studying Genesis 1, chapter 1, verses 1, and the different verses. But anyway, where I made my mistakes. Now, I do believe in the gap theory, which is meaning that there is a gap between verse 1 verse 2. I'll go in more detail in that later. But what I really wanted to talk about was I had mentioned the heavens. So in Genesis verse 1, in chapter 1 verse 1, it says God made the heavens plural. And so and depending on the source, there's the first heaven, there's three heavens, or there's seven heavens. Some sources say 10. The Bible clearly reflects three: first heaven, second heaven, third heaven. Now, my mistake, forgive me, I said first heaven is the sky we see, second heaven is like the universe, and third heaven is the throne of God. And that's incorrect. I'm so sorry. First heaven is the sky we see plus the universe. And if you want proof, they talk about the vault in the sky. I mean, the vault, or it's in other verses, it's firmament, vast, um, depending on the Bible version that you use, but it's pretty much the sky that God made. And that's actually referenced in Genesis chapter 1, verse 6 through 9, and verse 14 through 15, where they're typically talking about the sky. So proof that. Proof that the universe is part of the first heaven. There you go. Genesis 6 through 9. I mean, chapter 1, 6 through 9, verses 6 through 9, and 14 through 15. The other thing that I made a mistake. So the first heaven is the sky and the universe. The second heaven is pretty much the spiritual realm. And the third heaven is the throne room of God. And I like to explain it in this way. For the second heaven is like the earth, or the universe that we see is like my hand. And let's say I had wrapped it with a towel over and over and over, like a whole bunch of layers. That would be the second heaven. And then the third heaven would be the throne room of God. Again, Enoch has like seven heavens. And what I didn't mention is three or four of the heavens that he's referring to are actually part of the underworld. And I used to think the underworld was under the earth, which it's not. But okay, that we all make mistakes here. But that we'll go into that later. But there's proof if you want to go and do your own research. And I'm only referring to Enoch book 1 and 2. It mentions paradise, and paradise is part of the underworld. And the Bible does mention paradise when Jesus is on the cross and he's about to die, and one person is about to go to go with him to heaven. He's a sinner. He's like, how do I go and save my life? And God's like, Jesus, like, I'll see you in paradise today. And so that's actually a location that's empty now, because people were released from that after the ascension of God. But that's a whole other story. So I just want to apologize for making mistakes yesterday, because I was super tired and I didn't refer properly. And again, when I was telling you that the universe is actually part of the first heaven, it specifically says it in verse 14, where it says, let there be light in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night and serve as signs to mark sacred times and days, years. So, when you think about it, moons has tides, and that kind of affects the earth, and the sun. This is the reason why we have our seasons and constellations. I didn't know that constellations appear different during different times. I didn't know that. So why does this all matter? Why am I correcting myself? I'm correcting myself because I really, really want you guys to do your own research. It's very important. The Bible is extremely interesting. Do your own research, and don't always trust people. People make mistakes. I was extremely tired. I didn't have any notes. I said I'd wing it, and I was just being obedient to the Lord. But that's number one. Number two, it does matter that you know the first heaven versus the second heaven and the third heaven, because there's power in that. And There's power in knowing your authority in Christ. There's power in knowing what is coming against you and why it's coming against you. So I just want you guys to be more informed. And when you know who you are in Christ, the enemy can't really attack you like he attacks those that don't know. So I'll talk about the gap theory a little bit more because people don't understand it, but we'll do that another day. But I just want to bless you guys. I want you to know that you're wonderful and that you're beautiful and that God has amazing things for you. And I didn't know I could look at the chat before. I thought it would go later, but it is what it is. But I just wish you guys a wonderful, wonderful day. And if there's anything that you guys do want me to talk about, please let me know. I'll do my best, and God will do the rest. But I just declare and decree you guys will have an amazing day. And hopefully this was helpful somehow, some way. All right, bye-bye.